Wade. How are you?
Good, you?
Good. Welcome back. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Pretty good. How's your week been?
It's been pretty good so far.
Good. Things been a little not in the norm with everything going on.
Yeah. Everything's everybody's stressed and acting crazy with all this virus and everything else going on. Worried about money and this and that.
Yeah, it's definitely a different time, a different reality right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with everything going on, I really appreciate you coming in to see me today. So, last week we had started talking about your stress, and you opened up that things stress you out more than you think they should.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you feel stressed out, what are some of the things that get you to that point?
I guess just maybe stuff not going so smooth at work. Typical day-to-day stuff being drawn out and made harder than what they're supposed to be. Micromanaging.
Okay. So, work in general stresses you out.
Sometimes, yes.
And some specific things. So, micromanager, is it your direct supervisor
Yes.
that stresses you out? Okay. So, is there a relationship barrier there with you and the supervisor?
I'd say there is. I think he knows that I don't necessarily put up with as much as some of the other employees, but he has to have control of everything, and with a group of guys that it's experienced, he makes it more overwhelming than it should be, by far.
Okay. And so do you get stressed out because of you don't feel like he's being fair to the group of men? Or do you feel like you get more stressed out because the lack of his knowledge?
I don't think it's the lack of his knowledge. I think it's the lack of him thinking we can do the work without his every little say so and input. Even though everything that we do, we've been doing for years.
Okay.
It'd be easier if he would just line us up with our work and let us do it and be done.
So I'm understanding it's more of the lack of support that he gives y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's... So, what do you do to alleviate that? Do you talk to him?
Yeah, I don't hold my tongue.
Okay.
If I have something on my mind, I say it. The truth is always faster, and it's easier. So I don't really beat around the bush, and cutting up is a big way that I deal with stuff. So if you can't take a joke, you may have a stressful time. So.
Okay. So, and listening to what you were saying, I actually noticed two strengths that you mentioned, and you may not have noticed them, but communication skills and honesty are two things you just mentioned that you do well. So, when you're feeling stressed, you go to the person and you talk to that person, even though you might not be saying, "Hey, so and so, like I'm feeling stressed right now." You're talking to them about what is making you stressed. So in return, if the situation gets resolved, it's then gonna make you feel less stressed, right?
Yeah.
So a strength, and then honesty, of course, is an obvious strength, in the sense that it's always better to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we always want, especially when stress is there, because when you're a big ball of stress, you're focused on your weaknesses and what's not right at the moment. So it's good to think about what is right at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's something you just done very well at. Okay, so let's talk about something else you mentioned last week was that when you do get stressed and you let all these things build up, you don't deal with them immediately, that you do start to get angry.
Right.
So what are some things that happen when you're angry, and what are some things that maybe help alleviate that anger?
Well, like I said, not biting my tongue, maybe reacting instead of thinking about what to say, just kind of blurting out whatever's on my mind right then may not be the best way to express things.
Okay, so issue holding back tongue, holding back what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Has that gotten you in trouble?
Sometimes.
Okay. So it's not always the best thing for you, huh?
No. People don't always want to hear what you think.
Well, or maybe it's just not the right time. Maybe. Okay. So another thing you had mentioned just briefly last week was that you sometimes, when you go out in public, you feel anxious, especially if you go out with just you and your kids and it's not something in the norm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know you said like your wife typically goes with you,
mm-hmm.
and so when you have to take the kids with you in public by yourself, you get very anxious. We had talked about you having sweaty palms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So maybe that's something we can explore together in future sessions and talk about if you feel that us discussing it will help.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for today. We've discussed working on these stress barriers and trying to hurdle them, and I know we've not explored treatment plan and we've made goals and everything yet, but this is something we'll do in the next coming sessions.
Okay.
We just like to spend these first couple sessions really getting to know each other and getting to know what is actually going on and what you want to work on.
Okay.
Before we really fine tune those goals. Okay?
Okay.
So I appreciate you coming in this week, and I'll see you next week, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.